and click the live button. No, first I have to refresh the page so that it realizes that we are now. Yes, no, there. Yes, there we are. Gosh, it used to be so simple. There we are. So we're going to be live in just a sec. Maybe we already are. Hello, everyone. This is Isaiah Gabriel, and we are live, yes, on Facebook with today Nicole. This is one of the short lives that I am doing with most of the speakers from the Women Lighting the Way Summit to introduce a little bit of these speakers to you. Please remember, the Women Lighting the Way Summit is approaching. It's next week, December 12th, 13th, and 14th. There is 25 incredible women that you want to listen to their stories. And you have the ticket is free. And you have a free 1-week replay. So you don't have to stress up about having to listen to 25 stories in 3 days. You can just breathe into it. You have a whole week to do that. But none of this is going to happen in the Facebook group where you're watching this live or on the YouTube channel. Everything is happening on a specific platform. So please rush and book your free ticket. I am sharing the link in the comments just right now. Come and join us. So these short lives that I've been doing with our speakers, the plan is we're talking stories, life stories, our stories, because that's the general topic of the Women Lighting the Way Summit. But I created a few questions with a common theme. So the idea is that there are 2 questions with one common theme. One is a deep question and the other is a so-called light question, but you never know where we end up. And then I shuffled them. So I did not choose those ones for you, Nicole. These are the next ones on my list. And your theme is, let me go and check it because I don't remember, legacy.
Legacy. Ooh.
And the first question would be, so first, thank you and hi, because I don't know, I'm not sure anyone's heard your voice. So hello,
everybody.
So legacy, the question would be, what is one legacy you hope your presence quietly leaves behind?
Okay.
You can think about that.
Trying to think of one thing is difficult. There's so many. I think the main thing I would like to leave is that anxiety and stress is not who we are, and
Oh, I love that.
We get stuck into personalities and behaviors and ways of being that feel like us. And I just want to encourage people to look for the signs of being under stress, look for the signs of being anxious, and understand that that isn't you, and that there is always hope and space to breathe into and to come back to who you are.
Well, that is not a quiet legacy. That's a huge thing, actually. But yes, I agree. If you could leave that behind, I would be all in favor, because, I realize that there's so many people, me included, that are confusing their personality or their being with the stressed being that they have been living with or through for so many years. And it, for me, it took cancer to just quiet me down and just, was kind of, oh, you can't do anything now. No, you just can't. You can't even walk, for heaven's sake, to the toilet. So you'll have to stop stressing about it. And things are not going to get done. But indeed, it's really a good one. Thank you for sharing that with us.
No, I think it's amazing, how health crisis can sort of bring us to that realization and can change everything, in terms of how we approach life from that point onwards. And as much as it's stressful and awful to go through, there is something on the other side, and we have to just remember that.
Absolutely. Sometimes it's not even your own health crisis. Actually, my first light bulb moment was my husband being in a coma. So I was just paralyzed by fear, and I just couldn't do anything. And in fact, I rested a lot, and I changed my whole view on life. But yeah, it's I just want to, because I'm this person and I'm obsessed with joy, I just want to say it's not compulsory either. You don't have to go through a shit moment to realize that you can uncouple yourself from stress or anxiety, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Because I hate this the story that, oh, I've been through hell, now I'm this person. Sometimes we do, but sometimes we don't. Even we can just have a decision and stop playing the anxiety/stress game, can't we?
Yeah. It's interesting though. I think we kind of need the polarity of the two. We need to be able to experience something to experience the other side fully. And so it's a lesson, isn't it? And
Yeah.
we appreciate things in a different way when we've been challenged. And so it's not for everyone to go through, and everyone finds different levels of stress and in their lives, but it does give us something.
Yeah, no, I agree that crisis is kind of a wake-up call, and very often provides this you can't avoid moment. But I will die on the hill that suffering is not a compulsory thing. That you can wake up one morning and decide, I'm done being this, and change basically. So sorry, we're going off topic. That's what we do. So the fun question, or the lighter question, is: if someone wrote a footnote about you in a future history book, what would the quirky detail be?
Always curious. Yeah, always curious and fighting for others.
Yeah, that's polite, quirky but polite. I would go with, you're the only person I know that is British and has two accents in her name. Unexplainable, completely, mysterious to me. Because not one, but in Brûlé, but two of them, which for me, being French, is all right. We have that many accents all over the place. But this for me has always, ever since I met you, has been this. Where does this magic come from? Like, and not one accent, because that would be all right, but two.
Oui, je
So,
parle français aussi.
ooh, don't do
Je
this.
suis canadienne.
Ah, voila. Let me translate that for people. So you're Canadian. I didn't realize that's what that explains, obviously. And you do speak French. Yes.
Un petit
But
peu.
let's not switch to complete French here, because people are going to freak. I
Just a
can do
little.
languages, but not that much. But yeah. Also, the quirky part might be you're Canadian. I'm really surprised, let's put it this way, that in the whole wild world of circle of women that I've been meeting, there are very few Canadians in my circles, which is surprising.
Yeah, we don't like to big ourselves up.
Well, I, for one, spent some time in Canada during my honeymoon, and I had the best ever time. I've been dreaming of going back ever since, but life. And I will someday, I'm sure. I want to cross country in a train.
Oh,
So
wow.
do the Montreal Vancouver train in the
Oh,
winter.
it's supposed to be an incredible way to see it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I've done it, but not quite so glamorous. It was on a bus.
Well, that's I've been train obsessed, completely irrelevant to anything, but I've been train obsessed these last few days, months, or even years, because I'm trying to travel less by. I love traveling. I love to visit the world, but I'm trying to do less airplanes. And then I discovered that trains are amazing.
They are amazing. Yeah, and they seem to be investing more in trains. I keep reading about all these
Yeah,
incredible sleeper trains that are now
yeah,
appearing across Europe and making it easy for us to travel from one country to another. And
yeah.
yeah, I love the openness of that.
Yeah, for me, because that connects to legacy. Actually, I've been having those conversations. Both my sons went to a so-called green school, and so they were taught a lot of ecological gestures and practices, and they taught me to be honest. I'm of this generation that ecology wasn't taught to me as a child, so they taught me. And legacy-wise, I think it's really important that we leave as little shit behind as we can. So,
Definitely, definitely. It's
um,
amazing, I think, generationally, how different things are, that there's so
yeah,
much more awareness around all of that now. And it just wasn't part of growing up for me at all. I don't recall ever being sort of mindful of those things, but we are where we are, and we all have
yeah.
to do our
I think,
bit.
I think if we circle back to the beginning and the serious question, we are so much more aware of stress and anxiety as well.
Mm,
Because I think it's not like, of course, well, I have a belief that it has increased in society,
mm,
that the society today is more stressful than it was when I was a child, for instance, 50 years ago. Um, and my mom agrees, and she's
mm.
83, so she
I
agrees. Um,
Yeah.
but still, uh, it was also oh, what's the word? Negated, not talked about, ignored, that didn't exist. Mostly for women, it was like, forget it. You just go and do whatever you want, and you don't talk about the fact that you're anxious or stressful. So again, leaving a legacy of talking about it and doing something about it is hugely important.
It is, and I think, we're in an always on society now. We're contactable all the time. News is coming at us all the time, and secondary trauma is a big part of that, where you're taking in all these stories about everything happening globally. And climate wise, talking about the ecological side of things, there are an awful lot of people who feel very stressed about
Mm,
what's happening to the world itself. And
yeah.
are we doing enough? Can we do enough? And of course there's only so much we can do, but we all have
Mm.
to play our part.
Yeah, absolutely. But one good thing, and I'm going to do the promo bit again, is that the stories in Women Lighting the Way, which might or might not be stressful and triggering, because, some of the women talking there have had really traumatic experiences, and they share very openly and very authentically about it. But they always, it's incredible how they have overpowered or walked through fire and are on the other side of it. And I think
Mm,
that, compared to what we see on the news or something like that, which are also triggering, also traumatic, inducing, etc., etc. Um, I don't want to say that our stories have happy endings, but they do,
mm,
in a way. Not that anything is ending, but hopefully not anytime soon. But it's there is this idea that crossing fire is rewarding
mm,
for self happiness, and I was very impressed this year. It's the fourth edition of Women Lighting the Way, and I listened to all the talks prior, obviously doing the editing, etc., etc. And I'm really impressed this year about how honest and deep you ladies went, and how none of these stories are gloomy or depressing. None of them, including the ones that have really shit moments, but none of them are gloomy. All of them are lighting the way.
mm,
And for that, it brings tears to my eyes always. And I'm so grateful that we get to spread the light, that the idea that light is there, because we are surrounded by sometimes a lot of stress, news,
mm.
and information.
No, I
So,
just wanted to say thank you to you, because this has been an extraordinary experience.
oh, thank
And
you.
I've met, beside yourself, some very incredible people, and been able to listen to their stories. And I think there's a huge power in community, and a huge
Yeah,
amount of us that are lacking that community
yeah,
around us. And I think we just need to get more and more people here with us next weekend and embracing that and listening to it and
Absolutely.
joining in and sharing their stories and forming a pathway for other people to go forward.
I agree. I would love to have a library of women's stories, and then we can have readings of this library every now and then. So, I forgot to mention also, because we're in the promo bit, that during the weekend of the summit, there are also live panels, so you can come and meet our speakers in a more informal way, just like here, but with more of us. So thank you so much, Nicole, for being my guest today. And I will see you next week, hopefully with hundreds of attendees to listen to all these amazing women's stories and create a legacy of.
Please do join us.
Absolutely. Sending love to everyone. I will see you soon. Thanks again.